Hi, this is Dr. Alan Weidner from Massage Chair Relief. Unfortunately, our guests were unable to make it today. And so Eric is sick apparently, and he's unable to make it. They were, they had a couple of people for the call. Of course, Cathy and Eric. And without Eric, we can't go forward because apparently he had a chair at his disposal that he could show on the call, but he is ill. So I hate to do this to you, and I thank you for those of you that have joined in. Um, I feel bad about that. This is the second time in a year where we have had we had to cancel a call. But anyways, if anybody has a question for me while we're on this call, feel free to ask away, or anything that you want to talk about. We can take a few minutes to do that if there's interest. But again, our guests were unable to make it today. I received an email this morning saying that Eric was ill, and we will have to redo this. And I don't know when, if it'll be next week or later this week. I'm not sure. But unfortunately, I'm all alone, except for those of you that are here joining us. And I appreciate you being here. We were going to talk about the Super Novo X, which is the new chair from Human Touch, and it's an interesting chair. Just briefly, it has a split track, which is Human Touch's first split track chair. It has side doors that go up and back. The Oka was the first one to have the moving doors, and that one opened outwards. And then Laraco had the next set of moving armrests, and they slid back like a slide door. And the Super Novo X has the it comes up kind of like an old a fancy sports car, something James Bond might be driving. And the other thing that's unique about the chair is that it has changeable side panels and back pads. So if you want to change the color of the chair, you can change the outer inserts of the side arms of the armrests, and you can change the back pad color. So that'll give you a kind of a hands-free ability to get into the chair. And for some people who struggle with back pain or crippling pain, or it's hard for them to back into a chair like most chairs do, it's nice to have an option where you can slide in from the side, kind of like getting into a car. John, you just asked, have you ever sold a chair intended for a camper van? I have not sold a chair that is for a camper van, but I have had people, one here in Utah in particular, who bought one for his motorhome. And I don't know how they anchored it down. I know that we had to get a chair that could fit through a smaller doorway, and I remember we got a chair for that. But I don't know if the chair was heavy enough to anchor itself in the motorhome. But other than that, I really can't say that. I really can't. I don't. I've never seen a chair that's made for a camper van. Now we have Jason is on this is viewing, and he might have some feedback. He's got a store in Canada, a massage chair store in Canada. But anyways, that's about all I know is in terms of a chair intended for a camper van. And for those of you that are just joining us, our guests had to bow out today because Eric was ill, and he was going to be the principal presenter of the Super Novo X chair. And hopefully we'll have him back, if not later this week, maybe another week, but hopefully this month. But again, I apologize for those of you that attended or joined us, and I appreciate you joining us, but not having our guest with us. But I am just fielding any questions you might have. And RC Plane Guy just asked, I fixed my Novo XT2 last week. Both air pumps failed. Bad check valves on both. They were not building pressure. Well, I don't know if Eric or Cathy, when they come on the call with us next time, from Human Touch if they are going to know about the technical aspects of the chairs and the repairing aspect of the chairs. But yeah, sometimes things go wrong with chairs, as we discussed. If any of you watched our broadcast a few weeks ago with Justin Milne, the expert massage chair technician, he talked about a number of things that could go wrong with a chair. And I think he talked about airbags and maybe even mentioned the air pumps. But yeah, these are the thing we did learn from Justin is that no chair is immune from breaking down or having a problem. Some companies that are, some factories that are better factories build chairs, and they may not break down as much or as frequently, or as we call it in our industry, the failure rate might not be very high. But chairs do tend to have problems, no matter how great the manufacturing is. Of course, the cheaper the chair, the cheaper the quality, the parts, the cheaper the quality, or the poorer the quality control, the cheaper the chair, but the higher the failure rate, and the more problems can go, upwards and upwards in the failure rate department. But anyways, does anybody have any questions they want me to answer? Or have you tried the Cinca Cagra? Yeah, we used to have a Cagra in our Utah showroom quite some time ago, and this is 12 Gold Teeth asking if I've tried the Cagra and which one has a better stretch, the Cagra or the 8500 X3. Well, the 8500 X3 is the same chair as a Smart Chair X3, and we have that in all of our showrooms. The Cagra we did have for a short period of time. Interesting that one thing most people don't realize is that the Cagra is not an S-track. It's one of the few chairs that does not have an S-track roller track. It has a roller track that has rollers that move forward and back to compensate for the curves in the neck and in the low back. But it is not an S-track. But in terms of stretch, I don't think there's many chairs out there at all that can compete with the Infinity 8500 X3 or Smart Chair X3 or the old Infinity 8500. That chair, those chairs, those models, that family of models are all kind of built around the same body type. Those have fantastic stretches. The only other chair that I've had that I've experienced that has anything close to it is the Daiwa Supreme Hybrid Split Track. That chair has great stretch program for an L track. Typically, L tracks don't have much of a stretch. They have more of a hip distraction pull, like the legs pull down, but you're never completely horizontal. Whereas an S track or a split track L track, you can go almost completely horizontal, and you have the full body extension stretch is what we call it. And so I would say the Infinity chair has a better stretch than the Cagra. Yes. And I don't even think it's that close. I think the Infinity, hands down, has the best stretch. RC Plane guy again about the Novo. Would be nice if Human Touch had a parts diagram, parts availability. Well, you can contact Human Touch and they can hopefully get back to you and give you some sense of what they have in terms of parts availability. And I don't know what their service manuals are like. In other words, I don't know if they've got, diagrams, schematics for the parts. Most companies do. I'm not sure what Human Touch has and for what models. And Richard, you're asking about, do you have the chair in the showroom to show? Are you talking about the Super Novo X that we were supposed to be talking about today? Yes, we do have that chair in our Arizona showroom and in our Utah showroom. And but our stores, unfortunately, are closed on Monday. So we don't have anybody in the showroom to show it. But we really wanted Eric to be here. Eric, he's the special events coordinator for Human Touch. So what that means is he goes all over the country on the roadshow, Costco roadshows, and this guy knows the chairs inside and out. And I've talked to Eric before. He's a delightful guy, very engaging conversationalist. Has helped me in the past with some questions I've had about the remote controls of the Human Touch chairs. But Eric would be the expert to have, and unfortunately, he's sick, so he's not able to be here this week, and I'm very, very sorry about that. And you have to put up with me for however many more minutes we have questions. But yes, we do have that Super Novo X. And so, Richard, if you want to call our Arizona showroom or our Utah showroom, they will be open Tuesday through Saturday. They're not open today, but Tuesday. And you can ask my manager in each store what they think of the Super Novo X. Sean in our Arizona store, he's had it longer, so he's had a bit more experience with it. But it seems to be a very popular chair for people that sit in it. It's got a strong. Well, I'm not even going to go. The only thing I remember about it is that it has a good firm massage and strong calf airbags, but I don't remember too much more about it. But again, when our guests are available to come back, Eric and Cathy, we will go into the explanations and answer particular questions about that particular model. But anyways, I like the chair. It's a strong chair, good chair. And again, it has some unique features to it. I'm not going to go into the features that much. I had the feature set sheets here. It has calf rollers, which we haven't seen in any of the other Novo family of chairs. And again, it has the doors that go up and down to open and close. The price range on that chair, it ranges. I think it's $14.99 up to $16.99, depending if you have the leather side pad or the leather pads and the wood grain side panels. Those are the things that determine the cost. So I believe it goes from $14.99 up to $16.99, depending on those options. If you go on our website, massagechairrelief.com, you can see the pricing and with the different options. But that's the price range of this chair. Of course, we'll probably have a special going on for those who attend the broadcast, and you, of course, you can call our stores or our toll-free number, text or call our toll-free number 888-259-5380. We can give you pricing over the phone. But anyways, and RC Playing Guy, thank you for the Justin interview recently. These things break. It's nice to hear from repair techs. Yeah, and the great thing about Justin is, and I've known Justin for well over 10 years. He does all of our lifetime labor and warranty work in the Utah area. And of course, we have different techs near the different stores, but Justin really knows his stuff. And this guy, and he has no allegiance to anyone. I mean, he has an allegiance to me because I pay him for repairing our customers' chairs, but he has no allegiance to a retailer. He has no allegiance to a massage chair company. He just fixes the chairs. And there's some chairs, like the cheaper ones, that are more problematic because you can't get parts for them, or they don't have customer support that he can call for assistance in figuring out a chair. But one thing that came out of the discussion with Justin is that no one company has a monopoly on customer support. Sometimes it may wane in some companies from one stage of their company to another, but for the most part, the premium chair companies, like the ones that we carry and that you'll see on most of the reputable websites, do have good customer support. And if they don't, and you tell them, they will make sure it gets fixed. The other thing we got from Justin was you get what you pay for. And we used to say that all the time in our early videos. Like years ago, we used to say it all the time. But now we hear it from him, who is a technician. And, chairs just aren't jacked up in price to rip people off. Chairs are more expensive. Yes, they are. And there's chairs that are less expensive. But it is the quality of the build, the quality of the parts, the quality of the quality control, or the amount of the quality control, and the size of the factory. Usually the smaller factories, they can sell cheaper chairs, but you're going to have a higher failure rate. I talk about this all the time. I don't know if the message ever really gets through, because when someone's enticed with the price of $20.99 or something like that, it's just too overwhelming for them to look at to look objectively at what they're getting themselves into. But anyways, that's what a good return policy is for. That's what good customer support is for. That's what a good warranty is for. And oftentimes you don't get many of those good things with the smaller, cheaper, online chairs. Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? I'm happy to answer any questions anybody might have. Of course, I talk about a lot of this stuff in our industry updates and whatnot. But and by the way, go to our podcast. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, on Deezer, on Spotify, and you can download the audio of any of our, well, we just started the podcast in July, but you can download any of our interviews and industry updates there and listen to the audio while you're driving or working or whatever. Let's see. Oh, yeah. 12 Gold Teeth says that the Justin interview was interesting. I never knew about motor duty cycle time limit. And you know what? I've been in the business for almost 20 years and I didn't know about that. I mean, I knew that if you sit on a chair too long, things are going to go bad. And one of the things that I did a video on this a few years ago. I checked back over my Rolodex of videos that we've made, and we've made over 900 of them. But there was one that I talked about. If you sit on a chair too long, you'll start to hear grinding sounds coming out of the chair. And there's nothing wrong with the chair. The problem is that the chair is overheating, or the gears or the components of the roller track are grinding because they're overheated, they're expanding. And that will create a grinding sound. If you let the bloody thing sit for maybe 30 minutes, or whatever, 20, 30 minutes, depending on the duty cycle of the chair. Justin said you should let it rest the duty cycle will determine the rest period. So if a duty cycle is 20 minutes or 30 minutes, which is the average, or not the average, but the highest cycle, the highest auto program timing. So like you can have chairs that will only go to 15 minutes, 18 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then you can have that many minutes to give to it to rest and relax and cool off. And then you will start to see the sounds going away. But anyways, let's see. The duty cycle, that was news to me, and I appreciate learning about that. RC Playing Guys making a comment about the delivery service with his human touch chair. You know what? I hate to say this, especially if someone has never bought a chair before, but these massage chair companies, they get shipping companies they make a deal where they will get the delivery and the install. And they usually use two different companies, like the long haul freight company that'll bring it from their warehouse to your home in whatever state you're in. And then they will have a separate local agent that will go and actually bring the chair into your home and set it up if you buy a white glove delivery. Well, the problem is not every local delivery company has set up a massage chair, let alone every brand of massage chairs. So sometimes you get someone that comes into I'm embarrassed to say I've heard this quite a number of times over the 20 years I've been in the business, but there's some people that they'll come and deliver a chair and they've never even seen the model before. And in a couple of instances, I've heard them say they've never even set up a massage chair before. And then they don't look at the owner's manual. And then sometimes the guy that bought the chair or the gal who bought the chair is telling the customer or telling the delivery guy, okay, I think you're supposed to put these bolts in here. And I think you're supposed to do the footrest first. And so it's kind of embarrassing, but that is the nature of the beast with shipping. Shippers want the work. They'll give the massage chair companies a price. And the massage chair company's trying to save money, of course, so they'll go for whatever the better price is. But then what happens is that sometimes you get these screw ups. Now, if you're in a bigger city like Salt Lake or LA or whatever, Phoenix, where our stores are, most of these companies have delivered chairs before, not just one or two, but plenty. So they're quite confident and comfortable setting up the chairs. But if you live in a little bit of a little bit away from the urban jungle of that's nearest you, you might find that these delivery guys have never done anything before with that particular model or any massage chair. So yeah, to your point, RC Playing Guy, sometimes it's kind of a crapshoot, but sometimes you get a delivery team that really doesn't know what they're doing, and it can be difficult. But other times you get an awesome one. And if you only have one chair, which most people just have the one chair, and you have one delivery team that's lousy, your sentiment is, man, massage chair delivery companies suck. Pardon my vernacular. And that delivery crew may, but as a whole, a lot of these companies do a pretty good job. He said, yes, the delivery guys did not even have a hand truck Little guys arrived at 10:30 at night. Disaster. Yes, that could qualify as a real fiasco. And I am sorry that you had to go through that. And here's one of the biggest bones that people have to pick with the delivery companies. They schedule a delivery time of say 1 to 4, and then they either don't show up at all, or they show up at like at 10 o'clock at night or whatever. And of course they get backlogged. I get that, but they're not very good. They're not great communicators when it comes to things that are holding up the delivery. They're kind of weak on communication sometimes. They don't always come during that allotted 1 to 4 period, or 8 to noon, or whatever it is. It varies. They usually give you options. But anyways, yeah, it can be tough. And the hand truck, yeah, most delivery trucks have a hand truck. You would think that. If you're getting just regular curbside delivery, well, then they're going to usually have what they call a pallet jack, which is like a pallet, like a forklift, but it's a small one that you push, and it has some hydraulics. You can pump the lift, put the tines of or whatever you call it, of the forklift underneath the pallet, and then you can pump up the hydraulics and it'll raise it up off the ground. Then they just wheel it up to your house, as close to your house as they can get. And so if you have gravel or grass or mud or sand, they're going to stop when that begins. So you can't always get it right up to your doorway, or if they come up the stairs or whatever, they're going to have to drop it off there, but they get as close as they can. Anyways, okay. Dapa asks, Decor D2, or the Decor 2, I think you're talking about, versus the JP3000. Which one do you like better? Wow. Okay. Now this is a personal bias, but I'm a real big L-Track fan. And the Decor 2, well, the JP3000 and the Decor 2 are both Japanese made chairs, right? But the JP3000 is not an L-Track. It's a regular S-Track. And typical Japanese S-Track, if you've ever seen the Sinca JP3000 or any of the Panasonic chairs, very plain Jane body, nothing fancy, very simple, kind of look the same from model to model. But the technical and mechanical quality of the chairs is usually very, very good from those Japanese made chairs. And Panasonic's not Japanese made, but it's Japanese designed and engineered. And then they have them built in a Chinese factory. But the JP3000, I think, may be the same, or they may be building it now out of the Fujiyoki plant in Japan. I'm not exactly sure. I should know that, but I can't remember. But the Decor, that's D.Core, C-O-R-E. We used to carry the Cirrus and the Stratus, but then they stopped. That's when Furniture for Life was a distributor for Decor. And of course, as most of you know, a year ago, well, not most of you, whoever knows, but a year ago in August, Furniture for Life just started just distributing through their own stores. They would not allow competitors to sell through their store. So we had we had to stop selling Furniture for Life chairs, and they were the distributors for Decor in the US. But now that distributorship has been canceled with Furniture for Life, and now it's been transferred to Fujiyoki. So now the Fujiyoki company is distributing the Decor chairs. So we are now again carrying Decor. In our showroom, we only have the Decor 2, but I like that chair, Dapa, who asked that question. I like L-Tracks. I like the calf rollers. I like the arm rollers that the Decor has. Now they've got this new elbow airbag that kind of massages the elbow a bit. It has Bluetooth now and a couple of other things, but I really like the Decor chairs. I've always liked them. They're beautiful chairs. I don't know if you've ever looked at them. Go on the website and take a look. It's a beautiful chair, a nice flowing body. It's kind of one contiguous component. It's kind of like the armrests and the chair body kind of mold together. It has a real wood, I believe this one has oak in the Decor 2, but the armrests and the side panels are made of real oak, imported from America to be assembled with the chair in Japan. So, but I like the Decor, and I think both of them have 5-year warranty, so I don't think you're going to be hurting for warranty. Both companies, the Fujiyoki, which is previously Sinca, but for those of you that know or don't know, Sinca was a separate company under the auspices of the Johnson Health Tech Company, which is an enormous company out of Taiwan, and they do treadmills and exercise equipment and whatnot. And then they started carrying these massage chairs, and the Cinca and the Inner Balance were the two brands that they carried. Well, now, a few years ago, not now, but a few years ago, Johnson Wellness Tech or Health Tech, Johnson Health Tech, they bought I believe it's the Mount Fuji factory in Japan. So they bought the factory, and then they started bringing some of the production of their chairs to that factory. And so that company does some of the Cinca chairs, and I think it's the 3000. It might be the only one right now. It also does the Fujiorki. Well, okay, I've got to qualify this. There's Fujiorki chairs like the new Com Plus. It is not made in the Fujiorki factory. It's still made in China, but Fujiorki is the distributor of that chair, and so that chair is not made in the Japanese factory. So it's kind of like, and there's a lot of I don't know what the term is, a lot of inbreeding in the massage chair industry. Like Panasonic used to distribute differently. Now Furniture for Life distributes them. Furniture for Life distributed Decor. Now Fujiorki distributes Decor. There are models that I know one model in particular, Infinity used to have, that when they discontinued it, Osaki took it over and relabeled it. So there's a lot of this inbreeding going on with factories and with models and with companies. But the Decor is, and for those of you who don't know, Decor is the brainchild of Soshi Inada, who is the son of Mr. Inada that started Inada Massage Chairs back in the early 60s. And so he's no slouch in the massage chair industry. That Inada was a very well-known company. I don't know how they are now. I've heard, varying reports of kind of a demise of their Japanese production, but and availability of parts and things like that. But the son, Soshi Inada, he kind of broke away from his dad, and now he started the Decor line. And this Decor 2 is the latest. And by the way, it also feels a little more comfortable when you sit in it. But I would, because I love L-Track, because I love the calf rollers. I love arm rollers. The JP3000 doesn't have those things. It has foot rollers, I believe, but it does not have those other things. We do have a JP3000 in our Bay Area store, and not a terribly popular chair, but a very, very well-built chair. And anyways, but the Decor 2, we have it, and it seems to be a very, very impressive chair that their eyes are drawn to it, because we have the beige colored one, which is kind of the off-white with the brown armrests, wooden armrests, and wooden side panels. Good looking chair. It kind of sticks out when you walk into the room, but that might be a chair that I would pick over the JP3000. Not taking anything away from the JP3000. Great quality, very well built chair, good quality chair. But I like the Decor 2 because of the L-Track and the other things I mentioned. I hope I didn't go off too much on that. My problem is that once I get going. And so I got to rein it back in. So, but I hope that answered your questions, Dapa. Any other questions or comments or anything? Boy, for considering the fact that I just got on this call today to tell you that we weren't going to have a call, it has turned into a call. So anyways, if you have any questions, ask away. And if I don't know the answer, there may be someone on here like Jason from Relax Care up in Canada. He can also answer some questions if I don't know the answers to them. But anyways, any other questions? Any other comments? I'm available right now. So anyways, I guess that's probably all I've got. I think we were able to make a decent conversation out of the thing, but we will get we'll have another show or whatever you want to call it, another broadcast, hopefully within the next week or two. I'm going to be leaving town on Saturday for a week up in Canada. I'm going to Prince Edward Island, the home of Anne of Green Gables. 3 years ago, and now I'm getting way too personal, but 3 years ago, I'm adopted, and 3 years ago we found the family of my birth father, and three of them are I have 5 sisters. I grew up with 2. We were all adopted, and then now I find out, and many, many, many decades later, I find out that I've got 5 sisters, 3 in Prince Edward Island and 2 in Texas, and I've met them all, and they're wonderful, and they invited us to come up, and my wife and I are going up there for a week to see the where my father was born and where he was raised. And he died back in 2004, so I never got to meet him, but I have met all my sisters, and they're a hoot. They are just like my family. They truly are. Culture versus what is it? Culture versus I get mixed up now. But is it genes, or is it culture that raised that we become who we are? And it's definitely a little of both, because these people, like you've probably noticed in my Twitch, I have a kind of a Twitch that I have when I get excited. You should see me when I play hockey. It's real bad. But I found out that my father has a Twitch, and I always wondered where that Twitch came from. People ask me if I had Tourette's. Throughout my life, I've been asked that question. But I don't have Tourette's, but I do have this anxious or nervous twitch. But anyway, so next week, I don't know if I'll be able to do a recording with them, because we're going to be in Prince Edward Island visiting Anne of Green Gables, Anne with an E. We rented that show this last week so we could watch it. And I've never seen it before. I grew up in Canada. I'd never seen it. But anyways, I'm looking forward to see Prince Edward Island and have lobster. Apparently lobster is all over the place there, and it's reasonably priced. So looking forward to that. But anyways, at Eric's convenience and Cathy's convenience and my convenience, we will reconvene the call with Human Touch, because I think you'll be interested if you want to learn about this chair. It's really a cool chair, and I'll let them explain it to you. I'm not going to go over to the points, but very good chair. Anything else? Well, if not, I will bid you adieu. And I want to thank you for coming and hanging in here for over half an hour. Geez, I didn't expect this, but I'm glad we got to chit chat a bit. And I appreciate all of you taking the time to be here. And I'm sorry, I hope it didn't take you away from anything you had to, you have to reschedule around. But we will get Eric and Cathy back on this call, and we'll talk. But anyways, I'm Dr. Alan Weidner from Massage Chair Relief. I guess we'll see you on the next one of these broadcasts, or my industry update, or you can go to our podcast and download the audio of any of since July, any of our broadcasts or interviews or anything like that. You can download the audio and listen to it at your convenience. But thank you so much for being here. Hope you have a great day, good week, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.